Welcome back to the channel for a preview of the Orient game. And before we do that, I've been on holiday for the past week, so I wasn't able to do any reviews of the Reading debacle last Saturday. Also the Leeds Virtuoso Cup game and the incomings and outgoings on transfer deadline day. So I just want to touch upon those in a brief summary before I do the Orient preview. Now, like I say, I was on holiday last week, so I did manage to see the Reading game, but I wasn't able to put a review up, and I'm glad I didn't, because it was awful. When you think how well they played against Birmingham, and to put that sort of like insipid performance in. But again, some of that blame goes down to the manager. He's not picking our best team, in my opinion. Our best back three, and I don't think there'll be any Vale fans who will disagree with me. Our best back three at the moment is Kyle John on the right-hand side of the back three. Cameron Humphreys in the middle of the back three, where he can influence the game better than being on the left-hand side. In the middle of that back three, he can influence it far better. And Connor Hall on the left-hand side. That's our best back three. So what do we play against Reading? Deborah on the right, Hennigan in the middle, and Humphreys on the left. It's not for me, that isn't, in any way, shape or form. And proved to be such. Didn't think we were effective, really, in the game. We looked slow, we looked laborious. Thought players like Jermaine Edley were awful. And the Curtis experiment that keeps going on just is not working. Ronan Curtis is not a centre forward. Ronan Curtis, for the majority of his career, has played on the left-hand side of a front three. So Darren Moore, putting round pegs and square holes, doesn't seem to get it. It doesn't work. So anyway, a 1-0 defeat, which everybody was like banging on about Dwayne Brown beforehand. And sort of having seen him in that game when he came on, he had a glorious chance. Left foot, just glide it in the top, halfway up. Nah, straight over the top. And having seen him, we'll move on now to Tuesday, the Leeds game. Having seen him on the Leeds game, anybody thinking he is the answer to our forward problems is very much mistaken. The Leeds game, he had two glorious opportunities, didn't hit the target on any of them. He looks raw, he gives the ball away, and not for me. He isn't gonna be the one for us this season who's gonna finish those chances. I can assure you that. And going on to that Leeds under-21 game, Darren Moore again, team selection. Funzo Ojo's 34. He gives him the full game in that trophy. I was a little bit wounded for him that he didn't play from the start at Reading. And he plays a full game in the Virtuoso Trophy, along with Connor Hall, who was dropped totally from the squad. The rationale in some of Darren Moore's decision-making leaves a lot to be desired. But the proof will be in the pudding in that in the next coming weeks. The proof will be the pudding, because he's got all the players now. Nobody can say he hasn't got a squad capable of staying in League One. He's got choices all over the pitch. But he's got to make those right choices. He's got to pick the right team. He's got to pick the right tactics. He's got to make the right substitutes. And unfortunately, over the period that he's been in charge of our football club, he hasn't done that on a regular basis. And so therefore, that's primarily one of the reasons why we're in the position we are now, without a win in 6 games. But there's no excuses now. He's got the defenders, he's got more midfield players than I can remember was ever having at the football club. When you think we've got George Byers, we've got Crowsdale, we've got Walters, we've got Jordan Shipley, we've got George Hall, who we just brought in, we've got Ben Garrity, we've got Funzo Ojo. Max Muir can only play 3 of them in a 5-3-2. So he's got the players. I'm going back to Tuesday night, the Leeds game. Wow. Jordan Shipley, wow. He's not doing it for me. Fair enough, he did it at Coventry, but it's been a while since he didn't do it at Shrewsbury last season. So it's going to be interesting to see. And the other one I've got to touch upon, when he came, I said, oh my goodness, Ben Waine. I give credit where credit's due and I say it how it is. Good or bad. And Ben Waine he's getting up there now already. And I've been going 46 years with one of the worst forwards I've seen at Port Vale. I want to know who scouted him. Who thought, yeah, that's a good idea. 1, he doesn't score goals. 2, he's not technically good enough. 3, he gets pushed off the ball constantly. His decision-making's awful. And he can't finish. He could have had 3 on Tuesday night. In the first minute, he's only got to beat a player on the line. There's only him there. What does he do at the player on the line? So for me, that has been a disastrous signing. Disastrous. So we move on. Let's move on to transfer deadline day. Let's just touch upon that now. And for what air I've got left on my head, it was coming out to start off with. Because I've been saying, when I've been doing these vlogs, I've been saying all along, all you need to do, go and get Devante Cole. Just go and buy him. Just go and get him. You've got the money for the lads, just go and get him. So all the rumour, all through the day, were after Ollie Pierce from York City. And I hope this was an only rumour. And that eventually somebody did see common sense and say, we can't have him. Yes, he scored a bag full of goals. He's 30 years of age, by the way. Got a bag full of goals in non-league football. Never played league football and scored at any professional level. He's played non-league football. So for us to be linked with him, I thought it was incredulous. And we would have had to pay a fair bit of money for him because he scored something like, I don't know, about 70 odd goals in about 112 appearances. But anybody who thinks National League, these people do me head in saying National League. There's not much difference between League 2 and National League. There's a world of difference. There is a world of difference. Remember Quigley who scored loads of goals in non-league, come the Vale, did nothing. Didn't do anything anywhere else. Ricky Miller scored for Dover, 40 odd goals. Went Peterborough, came the Vale, did nothing. It's a world of difference. So to be linked with somebody like him, and for him to move up to League One, the head was coming off. And then we had the first signing, which I thought, that was incredible. We got more midfield players. And anyway, let's add to the collection. George Hall. Now, I just hope he's over all his injury problems. Because he played 22 times for Walsall last season. He's had a couple of bad injuries. And he didn't really set the world alight. But he is the type of player that we need. An attacking midfield player to link that midfield to those forwards that we've got. Which Darren Moore, in his team selection, his tactics, is getting horribly wrong. because the forwards are too isolated and he's playing the midfield too deep. So anyway, George Hall. They will have paid a pretty penny for George Hall. So I hope it works out. And I hope he's fit to play. When we played Birmingham in the Cup, he was on the bench. So I don't see no reason why he can't. So we go from there. Then eventually, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Devante Cole then walked through the door. At last, we signed somebody who can put the ball in the net. And if he gets a service, he will put the ball in the net. So that's a cracking signing. So there's no excuses for Darren Moore no more. Play the right players in the right places, play the right system. That team stays in League One easily. So that was transfer deadline day. The only two other interesting things on that day, I couldn't believe they've loaned Rico Richards out to Walsall. He hasn't given him the opportunity. He's a player ideal to come off the bench last 20 minutes. And somebody, we've got George Byers, we've got Ryan Crosdale, we've got Funso, Ojo, all similar players. Reece Walters, all similar players. But we haven't got many of those attacking midfielders. And they kept him, especially with the amount of games that we've got coming along. So that was an odd decision, that was, to let him go out. Because I think he got something to offer. And the other one that rumour that was going round was that QPR had come in for Reece Walters. £1 million. And we turned it down. I'm glad we have. He's worth more than that. Apparently the figure they're after is 2.5. And if he continues the way he is, he'll get that easy. Somebody will pay 2.5 easy for him. Because he's class. Absolute class. To the level whereby, if he continues, he'll be by far the best midfield player in that league, in League One. So yeah, so I'm glad Reece stayed with us. So moving on, so we got Orient on Saturday. Still looking for our first victory in our 7th game. Orient, they've won 1. They've won 2, drawn 1, and lost 3. So they've got 7 points and they're in 16th position. Now, we've got a good record against them over the years. I was quite surprised when I looked at it. We've won 35 games against Orient, drawn 12 and lost 20. So that's a good winning record. And just going back and just having a little reminisce, I think the 3 that stick out for me, I'm not old enough, but I think the most important game we ever played against Orient was in 1954 when we beat them 1-0 at their ground. And that was in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. So in beating them, we got to the semi-final where we played West Brom and unfortunately lost 2-1 after a replay to a dodgy penalty by a player who used to play for the Vale, who then went to West Brom, Ronnie Moore. So yeah. So the second one I can remember, I remember going there in the mid-90s, early 90s, about 93, winning 1-0 in one of our going for promotion seasons, and Ray Walker scoring the winner. Brisbane Road, which is nothing like it looks like now. It was a bit of an old-fashioned sort of ground in those days. And then recently, the most memorable game will be 2021, which I can't believe that's nearly 4 years ago when we beat them 3-2 at the Vale. When Jamie Proctor scored, 95th minute, and Dennis Politic had equalised for us in about 91 minutes. Cracking last few minutes that was, watching Darryl Clark sliding down the touchline. Great day. So yeah, so the other thing just to touch on is players who play for both clubs. And there's quite a few that play for both clubs. Clayton Fortune, he was a centre-half. He played for Orient and the Vale. Mark Laird had a brief stint at the Vale, played for both clubs. Carl Griffiths. Now, people remember him. We could do with him in our side at the moment. He was a good player. He played for Orient and the Vale. Gavin Massey, the much maligned Gavin Massey. He played for both clubs. But the best one of the best signings for the money that we had in the Rudge era, we signed him from Orient for £50,000. Ian Bogey. He actually came from Orient, and he's played for both clubs also. So, right, the teams. What do I think? Well, my team, Darren Moore's team again, I think it's going to be a little bit different. So we've got to have Morosi. This is Darren Moore's team anyway. This is what I think he'll pick. So I'm not happy. So in goal, I think he'll have Morosi, because Gucci's on international duty. Now, I think Mitch Clark, having seen the Reading game, I think he's got a rib injury. I don't think he's going to be fit for Saturday, which is going to be a bit of a blow. Gabriel didn't play in midweek, so I'm hoping he's going to be available. So I think he'll play Gabriel on the right-hand side. Then I think he'll go with Deborah, right-hand side of the back three, Humphreys in the middle, and I think he'll bring Connor Hall back on the left-hand side. I think he'll play Headley on the left-hand side, on the left wing-back, sorry. But again, on Tuesday when I watched the Leeds game, he seemed to be limping at the end. So it wouldn't surprise me if Liam Gordon's there, but he will play Headley if he was fit. And I don't know why, because he's hopeless. This season, Jermaine Headley's been hopeless. All over the shop. But he will play. His midfield three, I think he'll go Walters. I think he'll stick with George Byers, who I thought was dreadful against Reading. And I think the new guy, Hall, will come in, George Hall. And up front, he's got to play Devante Cole. Whether he's fit, whether he's not fit, he's got one leg. For the rest of them, he's got to play him. He's got to play Devante Cole. Don't put him as sub, bring him on and all this rubbish. Play him. Play your best side. But I think he's going to continue with the Curtis experiment. I think it'd be Cole and Curtis that he'll pick up front. Which ain't my team. Now, my team, I'd have picked the best team that we have got available to us. And our best team available is either Clark or Gabriel on the right-hand side. Wing back. The three, our best three. At the back, Kyle John, right-hand side of the back three. Cameron Humphreys in the middle. He can affect the game a lot better in the middle. And then Connor Hall on the left-hand side. If Jermaine Headley was fit, I wouldn't play him. Liam Gordon, for me, at the moment, is a better player than Jermaine Headley. And then my midfield three, I'd have Reece Walters, I'd have Funzo Ojo, and I'd have the new man, George Hall. And that's our best midfield three at the moment. George Byers doesn't make it. And Ryan Crosdale just misses out. But that's our best three. Then up front, yeah, we've got to have Devante Cole. Got to have him. Now, Mofal against Reading, not good enough. Ben Wayne, enough said. Don't have to say any more about him. Brown, who we've had from Derby, not good enough. Ronan Curtis. Sorry, not a striker. Give the man his chance. He did the best out of the lot of them on Tuesday night. scored a goal, took his chance well, link play well. Play Rory Payton up front with Devante Cole. That's the way to go. So, what do I think? Tricky game, this, because they're not that bad. And with the team he picks, Darren Moore, we need an early goal. But I can't see us getting it because he doesn't. We never score early goals. So I'm going to have to go for a 1-1 draw. But fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we get that first victory of the season. But the pressure's on him. Like I say, the pressure's on him. He has got to deliver. He's getting into his 7th game now with a monster budget for Port Vale Football Club. A squad that's filled full of quality. It's down to him now. It's down to him. So, we will wait and see. So, thanks very much for listening. Please like, most importantly, please subscribe. And up the Vale.